We're just about to watch Engineer give a tune-up to the manual generator. And the manual generator is probably my least favorite machine because it occupies the dupe's time to produce power. So I figure I might as well make it more efficient by getting this dupe here, the Engineer, giving it a tune-up. And they can do that if that machine is in a power plant. And it needs to be in a power plant if it has this power control station. So I built that. Now this is producing 400 watts. It's going to up it by 50%. So we should see 600 watts. There. Now Maker, even though they still have to use the machine, they're producing at least 600 watts while they're standing here instead of 400. And that's very useful. Now there's one issue. I've got this set up here with the hydrogen generator. Normally that would produce 600. Normally this would produce 400. That'd be fine. But this is now going to overload this circuit. So I need to either disable one of these buildings, or I think it'd be smart if I upgrade this system. I'm going to do that now. To have a heavy watt wire. We're not going to put a heavy watt wire everywhere, so that'd be wasteful at this point. So I'm going to put it through a transformer. Not actually going to connect it at the moment. Maybe we should disable this hydrogen generator, because right now we'd be running into an issue of circuitry overloading. And what that causes is essentially these things to burn out, and the dupes will have to waste metal on that. Now just one point, this guy here does consume metal, but it's pretty slow burning, and the effect is extremely useful. So it is very vital to have this, in my opinion. Now, because this machine does consume metal, if you're going to not need one of these, let's say you have 2 manual generators, or even one that doesn't get used, you might as well disable it, so that your dupe that applies the tune-up doesn't waste metal, or these little chips that are produced on it. Another thing, a dupe can't actually do that unless, let's look at Engineer, unless they have the electrical engineering skills. So this is one of the skill sets I like to get the dupes to have very early on. You're going to have to give them the proved tinkering first, and then get them to have the electrical engineer. The sooner you do that, the quicker you're going to produce that. I'll just wait for the dupes to create this wire here, and we'll put this into action so that I can have both these functioning. So the dupes have made the change over here. So there's a heavy watt wire that goes across all these power buildings, but it's still connected to this circuitry here, which is fine for the moment because this is 600. But I want to enable this guy, which can actually output 1.2 kilowatts if this gets a tune-up. So what I'm going to do, I've got all the system here, heavy watt wire going into this transformer. That's going to output 1,000 in this direction, but I can now produce over 1,000 over here if I want to. And that'll be put into this battery if there is an excess. So before I do that, I want to snap or disconnect this. I'm going to use the wires here and disconnect the regular wire system that goes all over the base from the heavy watt wire system that is just in the power plant. Now that I've done that, I've got to make sure, of course, that I connect that back up over here. And there we have it. I can now enable this guy, which allows me to produce a lot more power. One final extra tip to go with this, I put a smart battery here. I put a logic that's connected to the hydrogen generator in this case. What that's doing is essentially telling it when power gets down to 99% inside this battery, this machine can go until it gets 100 and then turn off. That's just going to consume the hydrogen that's going into it. If you find that this machine doesn't end up being used all that much, you might as well disable it so you don't waste metal. This Engineer is making these little microchips that get put into these machines. The more power machines you have, the more these microchips will be used. Well, that's it for now. Oh, well, here we are. Engineer is in the process of upgrading this, so we'll get 1.2 kilowatts. Thanks for watching.